Alright, so today we are going to be ranking every single enemy you can fight in Honkai Star Rail. So I'm going to have 5 tiers for this. We're going to have the valid tier at the top. Those are going to be the coolest enemies to fight. Then alright to fight, meaning that, like, it's whatever. Yeah, if I fight you, I'm not too bothered by it, but, like, you're not one of the best. Then the middle tier is I'll fight you if I have to. Just for those enemies that it's like, I'll fight you, sure, I'll do it. But, I'm not the most, I'm not, like, the happiest about it. I'm not the most excited about it, right? Then we have the tier that's just no, which is, I don't like fighting you. And then we got the bottom tier, a fate worse than death, because I haven't thought about too many of these, but there's at least one that we can even see him on screen right now that I would put down in that tier. Those are, like, the worst of the worst, and there's definitely a couple that'll be in there. But if you're enjoying the Honkai Star Rail content and want to see more of it, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. So let's get right into the tier list here. So first off, we have the ice, little, fly thing. I'm not gonna have, like, the actual name of a lot of these enemies, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it. This one's alright to fight. I mean, just like serves its purpose, not really to, like, anything too crazy. Yeah, so just pretty standard to fight. Yeah, I take these flies as, like, the standard enemies. They're not really anything too. They don't have anything too special, and they're not too annoying because they don't really have, like, a gimmick. They kind of just, like, hit you and it's whatever. Then we have the Void Ranger. This is the I believe this is the Quantum one, I think. And this one, I mean, he's fine. I feel like he's a little better to fight than the Wind one. We'll get to the Wind one when it comes up. But yeah, I feel like for this one, honestly, I feel like I'll put him here. Like, I'm not too bothered when I fight him. He's whatever. Nothing too crazy there. Now we get to the Destroyer, the first weekly boss, and I hate fighting this boss. This is going in a fate worse than death. I despise fighting this boss. I've literally only fought him like once a week at maximum since the game came out because I do not like fighting him at all. His mechanics are annoying. It's the fact that you gotta defeat, like, his 3 parts before taking out a single health bar, then you gotta do it all over again for the second health bar, and he gets stronger. It's just not fun fighting that dude. It's just not fun, and I don't think like, I've tried different teams on it too, and I don't think anything's gonna make me enjoy that. Never. Now we go into the little, like, energy ball guy, and this is the first one that's going up in valid because he doesn't really do too much, and when you kill him, you get some energy back, which is cool. If you're, like, right before getting an ultimate and you kill him, then you get your ultimate, and you're just chilling. You are really just chilling at that point. Then we have a couple of the Fragmentum enemies. I mean, these are alright to fight. I mean, they're not anything, like, super special, but they kind of just hit you, and that's really about it for them. Nothing too crazy. Then after that, we have this thing. I'm going to put it in I'll fight you if I have to, because in terms of beating them, they're not too bad. Not really too many, like, gimmicks, other than, like, they have AoE attacks, so that's a little annoying. But the main reason why they're in the middle tier is because they are really fast. So, like, if I'm not using I think my fastest character right now is my Sela, and if I'm not using her on my team, like, if I'm using, like, my secondary team or whatever, these things will attack before my characters, and that's really annoying to me. I mean, outside of that, they're not really too crazy to deal with, but them being AoEs, plus having really high speed for an enemy, it's just not fun. It's just not fun. Yeah, then we have the, then we have these enemies here. I am gonna put them, honestly, like, I feel like they're both the same, the ice one, the fire one. I feel like I would put them in this tier. I mean, like, I think in terms of beating them, it's not too bad for me, but their DOT effects are a little annoying. So, dealing with that, especially if I'm doing a secondary team and I'm taking longer to beat them, or if it's in, like, stages of Memory of Chaos, it'll be a little annoying. But other than that, they're not, they're not that bad compared to maybe, like, some other things that we'll get to. And next up, we have the Shadow Guardians. There's the 2 different types. There's Yeah, there's the one that like seals your like skills, basic attacks, whatever, and then there's the other one that has like the 9 chargers thing. I'm pretty sure that that's the difference between them. And I'll put them in alright to fight. I don't really have issues with them. The only time I have an issue, which isn't like the biggest thing ever, is when they're doing whenever I'm on auto and I'm fighting them. Sometimes the auto AI will just not like take their like quote unquote ban thing into account, and I'll just keep taking damage for no reason. And I've died on a run or two because the auto would not work with whatever ban they gave. So I would just keep taking damage, and it would be not the most fun thing in the world. Then we have another one of these fly things, gonna go in alright to fight. Same reason as the first one, so not gonna spend too much time on that. Then we have our first instance of the fat robot. This is the Fragmentum version. And I'm gonna, honestly, so after, thinking about it, I feel like this guy is slightly more annoying to fight than the fat robot, so I'm gonna put you down at no. Because while just like the fat robot in general, it's annoying because like they spawn things in. The one thing about the regular robot that makes it better than the Fragmentum version is the fact that he puts, like the Fragmentum one, he summons 2 of these guys, which is like, that's cool. That's whatever. But he'll also just like consume them and get an attack boost if you don't kill them in time. Whereas the regular fat robot, he sends out 2 of like the spider robots that explode, and if you get them to explode by killing them, you'll get to deal damage to him as well, which I think is just like a little more bearable for that kind of fight. So yeah, I'm gonna put that guy at no. Then we have the armed robot, the robot with the sword on his arm, and this dude, I'll fight him if I have to. He's not the most annoying, but the fact that he just has extra actions every so often is, a little annoying to deal with. But like compared to some other enemies, like compared to what's below him, he's not really gonna be that annoying, realistically. Then we have the Wind Void Ranger, and like I said before when I was talking about the other one, I think this one is slightly more annoying, so I'm going to put him in I'll fight you if I have to, because his effect is based on DOT, so like, well, it's easier to get rid of too if you have like Cleanse on your team, like Bronya, Natasha, that kind of stuff. It's more annoying to deal with if you don't have that, because then not only are you being targeted by his strongest attack, but you're also taking Wind DOT, which, that's just more damage and is definitely going to be annoying if you don't have, Cleanse on your team. Then we have some of the Silver main guards here. I feel like most of them are valid. Or not even valid. No, most of them are alright to fight. I wouldn't say valid for them. Yeah, so I'll say alright to fight for the basic one, then, the gunner, and then like the one with the big gun. And then I'm gonna put the lieutenant at I'll fight you if I have to, only because of the counter mechanic. Now, because a lot of the lieutenants that you fight in the game are weak to quantum, at least from what I've seen, I haven't had too much issues with it because of my Sela. But the fact that I watched one of my friends actually like play through the counter mechanic and not just like brute force their way through it, because I just brute forced my way through it and I ended up fine because I have like good healing with Vailu and whatnot. But after seeing like how you're supposed to actively play around the mechanic, he is annoying because you have to kill all of the guards around him, and then he could just summon more, like just because he wants to. So like because of that, it's definitely a little annoying. There's definitely more annoying in the game for sure. So he'll be in that middle tier there. Then we got this soldier as well. This guy's just whatever, I think that's like the mining vagrant, and he's fine. He's chilling. Then we have some of the robots coming up here too. We have this robot, and this one I'll fight you if I have to, because sometimes they're annoying and will just heal the enemy, which is like, okay, you're just making the fight last longer for literally no reason. So that ends up being annoying. Then we have the spider robot. I'm putting the spider robot in valid, because as long as you kill him before he blows up in your face, he'll blow up and he'll deal damage to the other enemies, which is so nice. So you can get some extra damage in on the enemies while also targeting him. So we do love to see that. Then we have another one of the flies. I'm going to put that in alright to fight. I gotta scroll down. I scrolled down because we got another road there. Then the traffic light robot. Honestly, the fact that this thing, when he attacks, creates a barrier around him that he could take a hit for free, no matter what kind of hit it is. On the lowest of keys, puts him in the no tier. Because I've had so many times where I've been just, like doing like Calyx runs and I'm autoing with my team, right? I've had so many times over, the past 2 months that this game has been out, where I've autoed a fight against this thing, and my Sela has ulted him with his barrier up. And for those of you who have Sela, you know the big damage she can do. And it's just so painful when I'm autoing and it ults on the traffic light with a barrier, and it does absolutely nothing. So because of that, I'm putting him in the no tier. Then we have the fat robot. I think it's actually called like the Grizzly. I'm gonna put him in that fight. I'll fight him if I have to. A lot of these have been weak to the fire element from what I've seen, and I think they have Asta. They've also been weak to electric a lot of the time, so I have Serval for that as well. So it's not like too annoying, and plus he summons the spider robots that can explode and do damage to him. So it's gonna make the fight go by a bit faster, which is definitely cool for me. Then I'm gonna put this chainsaw automation also here in Alpha if I have to. Similar reason to this one, because this one here very similar. Yeah, because I believe this is the Fragmentum version of the chainsaw one, so very similar mechanics. But like one isn't like too much more annoying than the other one, in all honesty. So they can be in the same tier. Then we have Svarog, and I'm assuming that this is gonna, because I only see one Svarog here. I'm gonna take into consideration both the fight you have with him in the game, as well as like in the main story, as well as in the simulated universe. And with if you only fought him in the game in the main story, he'd probably be okay, like nothing too crazy. But simulated universe makes him in the no tier, just because of Phase 3. If you've done World 4 Simulated Universe, you know Phase 3, he summons the hands, and if you can't deal with those hands, it will cripple your team to where you just can't win. And it happens really fast, too. So, like, if you're not ready for it, you're just gonna have a bad time, all things considered. Then, we have Bronya. For Bronya, it's annoying. It's, like, not annoying to, like, fight her by herself. It's more annoying when you have her in the Cocolia fight, because she's just giving Cocolia more actions, and that's just doing more damage to your team overall. But outside of that, fighting Bronya by herself really isn't crazy, because I believe you do fight her in the story by herself, and there's like, she doesn't have any real allies, or like any real like notable allies to buff in that case. So it's nothing really too crazy. So I'm gonna put her in I'll fight you if I have to. It's not fun when you're fighting Cocolia, but outside of that, when you fight her in the main story, it's nothing too crazy. Then we have Japard, and once again, I'm gonna pair together the main story fight as well as Simulated Universe. And for Simulated Universe for him, I'm absolutely going to put him in no, because of his shield mechanic in the second and third phases of his fight, because you literally can't damage him or his allies until the shield goes away. And in Phase 3, his allies are the 2 lieutenants, which are right here. So that ends up being really annoying, because if you don't kill the lieutenants in time afterwards, they'll probably just be able to like call in reinforcements, and then you got to fight even more of the Silvermane guards, which is just gonna make the fight go longer. Plus the shield itself makes the fight go longer as well. And like, sure, when you break through his shield, he gets a lot of weakness break, and his takes a good amount of damage as well. But just getting through that is really annoying, because it feels like you're not making too much progress. Then we have Cocolia. So this will be for when you fight her in her normal state, as in the main story, as well as in Simulated Universe. And for that, I mean, honestly, it's not too bad. I'm gonna put her in, and I'll fight you if I have to. Just because, she has some things that are kind of annoying, but a lot of it is amplified because of Bronya being with her in Simulated Universe. But otherwise, it's nothing really too crazy. A lot of her stuff is like, her main thing is her AoE in Simulated Universe, but like, you can deal with that if you have a good enough healer. So that's really all good. Then we have the weekly boss Cocolia, and I'll put that in alright to fight. She definitely does have some annoying things, like her AoE, like kind of like ultimate attack in Phase 2 is a bit annoying. Outside of that, it is so much more enjoyable to fight her than the other weekly boss. So I always, whenever I do my Echoes of War for the week, I usually fight her. I'll try to fight the Destroyer like once a week, so I can still have like the drops coming in for whatever characters I would need them for. But I'm not focusing on that because Cocolia is so much more fun to fight. Plus, the Wildfire song is so good, and it's one of the few times where I'm like playing a game that I like have to grind in like daily or weekly or whatever, and I actually like turn off whatever other music I'm playing and actually like fully listen to the in-game music, just because that theme is so good. Then we have the Mara Struck. All right, so for some of the Mara Struck, right? You are going in the no tier because it's annoying when I kill you and then you come back. Like, like I get they come back with half health, but it's still really annoying because it's just prolonging the fight for literally no reason. And I feel like that's the sort of theme down here, just prolonging the fight for literally no reason in the no tier. Then we have this guy. This guy isn't actually too bad. I'll fight him if I have to. Nothing really too crazy. I've heard people be kind of annoyed at him, but I'm not going to be too annoyed at this guy, to be honest. Just kill him quickly, and you don't really have to deal with like his explosion or anything like that. Then another one of these fly things that'll be an alright to fight. Same thing as the other ones. No real gimmicks, just kind of chilling. And this guy is at the no tier. He can summon these guys, which already makes him annoying, and also he does a good amount of like damage too. So yeah, these two being in combination with each other is just not fun. It's definitely not fun to fight these guys. Thankfully, I just auto a lot of my stuff, but it still is annoying regardless. Then we have the deer from the main story, and I think he's also in Memory of Chaos. I believe it's stage 6. Fighting him is a fate worse than death because I've only done the main story fight so far. I haven't reached stage 6 of Memory of Chaos, but it was annoying to fight him because he had so many. I mean, I get that it's because of the abundant stuff with the story, but he has so many like healing things that just make the fight super annoying. And I'm not going to enjoy once I get to Memory of Chaos and have to fight him. Or if I even have to fight something like that again when they add more story content in 1.2. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But these two down here are definitely my least favorites to fight in the entire game. Yeah, then these things from these next three are kind of like whatever to me. I'll put them in alright to fight. They don't really stand out too much in terms of being annoying or anything. So that's definitely cool for them. Then we have this, I believe this is the Arumation. I'm putting him in no, because once again, prolonging the fight, he spawns these fish-looking things, and it's just overall really annoying. Plus, like his sanction mode thing takes off his weaknesses, so you're able to weakness break him and get like the weakness break effects. So it's kind of like prolonging the fight as well. Then we have this just normal soldier that can go in alright to fight. That's whatever. Then we have Kafka. Now Kafka is interesting because at first I was like, okay, this is kind of annoying to fight, but as I started, doing her stage more and having an imaginary character, it's really not that crazy. So I'm gonna put Kafka in alright to fight. I really don't mind fighting Kafka too much, to be completely honest, because I do have a cleanser. I have Bronya, so I can get rid of her. Domination effects, and outside of that, I just use imaginary because she's always weak to imaginary, and I just slow her down, and then I do damage after that. So yeah, then we have the Warp Trotter. Warp Trotter is going invalid just because of the drops you get regardless of what you're doing, because if it's the Warp Trotters that are in like specific areas, you'll get 60 Stellar Jades, I believe it is, and like some other resources. Then you have like the random ones that'll pop up in fights, and you get some extra resources as well. And then Simulated Universe, you get a whole extra blessing for killing a Trotter, which is so cool. So yeah, they're only annoying because like they run away from you. But besides that, if you use like a ranged character or you just like run up to them and hit them in time, you'll be getting a good amount of resources as long as they don't run away. So yeah, I'm putting them in valid. Pretty much the valid here is like if you give me something extra than just being an enemy, you're good. You're good for this tier. Then we have this. I'm pretty sure this is a very similar concept to the other energy ball thing, but like not as helpful. So I'm gonna put you in the alright to fight. Same thing with this. I feel like they're kind of just like whatever. And then we have some of the Antimatter Legion enemies, which are just like, they're alright to fight. They're nothing too crazy for any of them. This one kind of just like locks onto you and then like attacks, but I haven't really found that to be too crazy. And then yeah, this one also not too annoying to fight. He kind of has some buffs, but like not too tanky either. But yeah, this is how I feel about every single enemy in the game. I'm actually gonna zoom out a little bit because we got some more rows than I had originally. So yeah, this is what we're looking at for the tier list. I'm definitely pretty comfortable with this tier list. A lot of the enemies are just like, you know, they're cool, they're whatever. I don't really like mind fighting them. Like I'll kind of just like auto through it and be cool. But then some enemies, they are just not it, chief. And you know, we'll see what other enemies we get, especially you know 1.2 coming. They'll probably add some new enemy types. But yeah, let me know what you think of the enemies in the game down in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a like, sub to the channel, ring the notification bell, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.